this is Lucy and welcome to another Fallout 76 Building 101 video. A quick update, Tiberius Shatner is doing well. He's going to be having his teeth out in a couple of days, so watch this space. I'm a bit worried about him. Apologies for the delay in getting this video out. The last couple of weeks have been insanely stressful. COVID has affected all our lives in so many different ways. I've been trying to get my house transferred into my name only after giving my ex a huge amount of money, or trying to. And the conveyancers that are doing it have taken 8 months to complete, and by the time they got round to completing, they requested the new mortgage monies from the bank, and the bank have said that my mortgage offer's expired. Oh, you couldn't make it up. So I'm just waiting to hear about a new mortgage while my ex is screaming blue murder for his money. So yay, happy happy joy joy. So hopefully I will keep a roof over my head. I don't know what's going to happen if this all falls through. I guess I'll have to sell the house, and I'm at risk from COVID because of some of my health problems, and it looks like we're about to hit another kind of upswing on that. So yeah, I might make myself a pillow fort and not come out. Anyway, my house here, this house, which I didn't have to take a mortgage out on. As you can see, I have extended the house by 1 tile. I decided to make it slightly bigger, and I've pulled out the bay so that it matches the other side. I have put a double dormer upstairs as well now. I kind of think, given my previous videos, that should be fairly straightforward. This dormer is done slightly differently. 2 triangular pieces are put over the top of the windows. I have added a fireplace. To be honest, I don't think the fireplace really goes with this build, but this episode is on fireplaces, so it seemed appropriate to build a fireplace in this house. So I will show you what I've done. It's quite a simple fireplace on the inside. I've got appearing, and I have tried covering some of these grasses on a previous build here, and they move, and this is a good example of them moving. I have them randomly appearing and disappearing. Oh, it seems to have decided it's disappearing. Anyway, this fireplace has a raised foundation on the other side, which is a bit of a pain to do because this whole fireplace is double walled, and the walls on this side had to be offset to match the walls on the inside, and also to match the outside as it's visible from the road, including the metal piece at the top. But I will show you some ways to build fireplaces, and hopefully it will be straightforward. I am actually on a public server this morning because for some reason my private server would just not. It kept logging me in at sort of in the middle of the night. And on the one time that I stayed, when I stayed on until the morning, it was raining. So that's taken like an hour while I waited. So right. Anyway, you don't have to double wall fireplaces. Quite often, I've used in the past, I've just used these brick pieces. A fireplace is basically just a tower on 1 tile. This is the simplest fireplace. For the front of the fireplace, you are going to want half walls. 2 like that. And then you take the bottom piece away. Now, as you can see, that bottom piece will not come away. So what you need to do is, if you're building a single-storey building in a fireplace, you will need to use a roof piece. And that flat roof piece is going to go in there. And then hopefully you can just remove the bottom piece. If you're building a 2-storey house like this, you can just extend the upper floor out if you need to. Now, ordinarily, I don't actually put the roof piece there. I put it higher up, and I will show you why in a minute. 2 reasons. The first is I like to put a contrasting lip around my fireplace. I quite often use the metal. But the other reason is to get the smoke effect. I put a generator up here. If you have the Atom Store small generators, you can actually fill this entire space up and have hidden generators, and then just put a smoking one on top. As you can see, I'm actually suspended this one over on top of a stash box, because the smoke, I want the smoke to come out the top rather than out the side. But also because in a minute I'm going to show you how to do a slightly different fireplace with a wall in the middle to make it shallower. And when you have that wall in the middle, you will not be able to get a flat roof piece over. And I missed! Oh no! Don't try this at home, kids. Let's try that again. Do I need a stim pack? No, I'm fine. I'm not sure I have full damage on armour on Scarlet, but apparently I'm. What I could do with let's take that bit off. There we go. So you just put your pieces like that. It obviously helps to have marsupial. If you don't have marsupial, if you don't want marsupial, you can just build staircases and floors to make scaffolding effectively. And then all you need to do is put your fire in. You can, of course, if you want, add wallpaper to this section. And you have a simple and effective fireplace. Right, now for our slightly different fireplace. As you can see, if you look at the one in the house, it's half as shallow. There is a wall halfway through this piece here, and I will show you how to do that. One little thing I should add, when trying to deconstruct these, you will find that you can't take off these pieces on this side until you've refilled this gap. So you need to put a half wall back in there. The other advantage actually of putting a roof piece in, that if anyone's built fireplace and has friends will know, is there is nothing more appealing to my friends apparently than jumping down my fireplaces and then getting stuck. When I first started building them, everybody wanted to jump in the fireplace. So, yeah, it stops them from doing that. Right. As most of you should be aware by now, Bethesda have fixed the double wall trick by allowing us once again to convert walls to doors and doors to walls. However, there is other functionality that they haven't returned to us. So this is the by replacing this door and this door with a wall, you can have two-sided walls and you can put wallpaper on both sides to create this kind of effect like I have on this camp and I do on a lot of my camps. But the functionality they didn't return was the ability to hang walls off roofs and upper floors, and I'll show you why that's important. To put a wall in the middle of this foundation, what you used to be able to do, and I do have a workaround, what you used to be able to do was put a half floor on, and then hang a wall off this. You are no longer able to do this, but I do have a workaround. Right, this piece is going to be our fireplace. The first thing I need to do before we put the wall in the middle is put walls on either side. Although they have to be doors, because doors will still hang. If you try and put your wall in the middle here, you won't be able to put these pieces on afterwards, so you have to put the side pieces on first. Right, so walls will no longer hang, but pillars will. So we're going to hang a pillar off this. We're now going to remove this upper floor and this ladder. Now obviously we want to remember where these pieces line up, so I've put a piece down here. This is a holding piece. It's a holding marker, place marker. We are then going to remove all of these pieces. The pillar and the doors will continue to hang, and what we can then do is snap that foundation to the pillar, and as you can see, it is halfway between these pieces. We can now attach a wall, or a door anyway. I am going to temporarily, because I want to show you another trick, I am going to double wall this internal wall. Right, now I can just remove these pieces, snap them to the existing placeholder, and we have our wall in the middle. I'm going to convert these doors back to walls now. And we're going to build our fireplace. The reason I double walled this was because effectively you're not using this half, this is hidden. You can in fact, if you want, and I have done it in a build before, is you can actually do a double-sided fireplace if you do it like this. Now I need to add an extra layer because, as I told you earlier, you will not be able to get a roof piece on here because of that wall in the middle. But it's unlikely you're going to want to build a fireplace of one height anyway, so it's fine. I have found the dropping a pillar trick. I used it recently in a build where I wanted to offset my foundations by half, so it's quite useful for that. Right, now we're going to put our roof on. And we can remove the bottom. And we can remove the bottom on this one as well. Going to add wallpaper. And there we go, you have a double fireplace now. Obviously you don't need to do a double fireplace if you don't want. Now the one advantage here we have is, because this will be the inside of your room, I mean this could be, you could put your fireplace in the middle of your house, that could be another side, or you could have an external fireplace, is you might not want this brick on the inside. I'm just going to take these pieces off on this side. Oops, just putting wallpaper on. What I'm going to do is actually, because there's two pieces of foundation, you don't have to have your walls this way. You can actually, by pulling the right stick, you can turn them around. And now we have a side that we can wallpaper. And again, we can just remove this piece at the bottom, or if you may have seen in a couple of my builds, we can create something different. And we can have, oops, I missed. With my wallpaper, I put the wallpaper on the back. You don't actually have to take this piece off, you can actually, if you're careful, just put your fireplace in like that. Now I have found with the windowed ones that it looks better if the floor behind is raised. It does make it slightly more complicated, but it's not impossible, and I will show you how to raise the foundation here on this one. There are a couple of ways to raise foundations in the game. The easiest way is to put down 3 foundations. Take the one in the middle out, and then you can raise this one. The easiest way is just to select it, and using the right stick you can just raise it up. You can see that there is a grey bounding box. The lower the foundation, the harder it is in some respects, so I'm actually having to pull it forward a little bit to keep it within the bounding box. There is another way, which is the left and right bumpers. If you select it, hold down the left bumper and hold down A, it will go up. If you select it, hold down the right bumper and press A, hold A, it will go down. But I find it's a bit too quick for me, so I tend to do it manually. And as you can see now, this will snap to the higher point or to the lower point. Now I do in fact want this foundation to be lower, so using these as placeholders. Now the one problem with doing this way is that there are two snap points. If you want the outside here, it's at the higher point and you'll end up with uneven edges. Now we want the front part to be lower, so we want that inside out to create the window, so that's fine. But if we want the brick on the outside, we are going to have a problem here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a placeholder down. It won't raise up now. Unfortunately, I have tried various variations on this, and the only way to do this, like I've done here, is to double wall it. So the alternative, if you don't want to double wall with offset walls, which is quite complicated, and you will need a flamer trap to do the half walls, is to raise the floor in a different way. So this is what I mean by double walling here. Doing it this way allows you As you can see, these walls are offset. You can double wall it, this is what I did with this one, but you won't be able to have the brick on the outside. There's no way to raise this floor once the pieces are in. It won't overlap. But there are other ways to raise the floor or to raise the fire. And the way I've done it in my modern safe house was because my fireplace was actually on the first floor, or the second floor if you're American, because in the UK we have a ground floor. It gets very confusing. The way to do it on a second story, because you can't raise the foundation, was to actually put something underneath it. And what I actually did to put it under something underneath it was I used these boxes. Unfortunately it wasn't on this character because I did blueprint it. I created a stack of these, which I'm doing very quickly and dirtily by the way now, to pretty much fill the entire area. And then I blueprinted it. As I said, this is quick and dirty. It was infuriatingly annoying. And budget intensive. But if you've seen the video for that camp, you can see that I got everything I needed done in that. I mean, obviously you can use other things. I have tried this quite a few ways this morning, and if you don't want a double-sided fireplace, then this is the only way to do it. I'll leave the door there. I'm going to put my blueprint down. In front of the window. Obviously, as I said, I actually covered the entire surface with these boxes, so this is just a quick and dirty way to show you for the video. No, come on, go to edit. And there you can see the fireplace is raised up. The fire is raised up in the fireplace. And that's probably a lot easier. I mean, you could use other things. I just use those green boxes because they have a fairly smooth surface. And they kind of disappeared into the floor, colour-wise. So Right, so I'm sorry I couldn't do everything I wanted. If you want the fireplace like I did, like I tried to do, and like this one in here, then you will need to double wall it. And as I said, the walls are offset here. So it's double walled, but they're offset by this amount. And I had to use a flamer trap on all these half pieces. And this dormer piece here as well. So there we go, fireplaces. Most of the things that I've learned how to do, I've learnt by trial and error and experimenting, and I will continue to experiment, and hopefully Bethesda will be bringing out more building pieces. There are going to be glass pieces in the next Legendary run, which I'm really excited for because I like building modern houses. So yeah, I have lots of plans for those. The next episode of this series will be about railings and fences, and I will be showing you how to do conduit railings. And after that I plan to do some build tutorials. I think I'll be starting with my tiny home, which I showed you at the beginning of this series, which I was using as a base while I built this house. And I have built quite a few camps. I probably build about a new camp probably every week or two. And I've been doing that for nearly 2 years, so I'll start with some simpler ones and work up to some more complex ones. So that's it from me today. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you for watching.